Baker Mayfield. Baker, you got to win. You can still make it if you don't, but you got to win. So go out there. I believe in you. You didn't make the Pro Bowl. We were going to talk about that. I mean, it's kind of a slight. Jay, it's tough competition out there in NFC. But I believe in you, Baker. Go ahead and get it done. And
all right. So they're doing like an accelerated under duress because they have to fit in Nick's tiers and all that. But Baker Mayfield's not under duress at all. I think the fact that this team is even remotely in playoff contention is pretty amazing and pretty awesome. When they had dealt with all their injuries, and I think it was against the Ravens when like they had just like their collection of injuries. I made a video like that next day, and I was like, man, like I feel for you Bucs fans. Like it's so frustrating to have like your team, your season ruined, and injuries, and you're so excited going into this season. You feel like you have such optimism and excitement, and then just injuries happen, and the season's over. And to have it happen this early on in the season is such a bummer, because then you're just like, what the heck am I doing? Like, is it even worth watching? Like, it's it's a rough place to be in, and it's a bummer because I know how much people care about football and how much fans care about. Like, you don't want that. You want to have fun and enjoy it. And then to see now, months later, weeks later, to see them still in contention to not only make the playoffs, win the division, and a lot of people feeling that they even, if they make the playoffs, that they can actually like win some playoff games, that they can make some noise and beat some trouble, I think is amazing. I think it's legitimately extraordinary and awesome. And a massive reason for that is that guy right there, Baker Mayfield. He deserves a tremendous amount of credit for keeping this team afloat. I mean, seriously. So I know sometimes, Broussard puts this, the whole Bud list is like, sometimes it's like, hey, you're under duress because, you're causing issues, or, you better do this or that. And sometimes it's kind of like, I'm trying to like, encourage you, and I believe in you. That's why, it's motivational, as he says. But this idea that you have to just keep putting all of the weight on someone like Baker and expect him to continuously come through, it's just the burden becomes too much. So it should be on the Bucs then, if you want to even just do the motivational type thing, put it on the Bucs to have everyone else step up, have the defense not mess things up, have them shut everyone down, have the run game going, the coaching, right? Like everybody but Baker at this point, honestly. Right? It's like, it's time to like, take a load off, put your feet up, help him carry the rest of the burden here. Because I do not think it falls on Baker. Let's say they did lose. Let's say it was a bad loss. I mean, I guess outside of Baker just really dropping the ball, having like a 4 interception game and a fumble, which if that happened, I would talk about it and I would say that was bad. Baker messed up. He was a problem. But, outside of anything like that, it's just like, if this game, and it shouldn't, but let's just say it does, it needs like like heroics. Again, if this game needed heroics for whatever reason, and Baker just was unable to get it done, again, it would be something that I would talk about and discuss and say, hey, if you had a better quarterback, maybe, et cetera, et cetera. But when looking at the season as a whole, I would be like, well, it's similar to in a game where if a quarterback is balling out, is playing great, and yet they then miss a throw or two, and it's just like, this quarterback has done so much. He's got like 5 first downs with his legs. He's got 80 yards rushing. He's thrown for over 300. He scrambled and threw the ball 45 yards down the field for one of the most amazing plays I've seen in a decade. And yeah, okay, so he overthrew his receiver, the one drive. I'm not going to hold his feet to the fire. You can only expect a player to be so perfect, to make so many great plays. That, in a lot of ways, is how this season feels for Baker and the Bucs. It's like you can only expect someone like Baker to be able to carry and do so much. So that's why I'm just not entirely sure that it really is completely fair to put him on the Bud list. But I'm curious how Buccaneers fans feel about that. you know, let's say they fall short and they don't make the playoffs because, right, they need to lose and the Falcons would need to win, I think, for that to, be the thing. Let's say they do fall short. How would you explain it? Would you be like, hey, this was a rough season. We dealt with injuries. There was games that if we were healthy, we clearly would have won. It shouldn't have ever come down to this. We had this. It just didn't. Or would you be like, this is disappointing? Yeah, we had injuries, but it was clearly ours for the taking, and we didn't do it. Like, I would love to know what is the mentality. What are your expectations this season in general at this point? Let's say you make the playoffs. Like, is it just making the playoffs is a successful season to you? Is getting a playoff win? Is one playoff win not enough? Been there, done that. You won an NFC championship game. Or an NFC championship game is not good enough either. I want to get to a series. Like, where are your expectations? How could this season end in a way where you go, you know what? I'm happy. I'm obviously Super Bowl, obviously. But, outside of that, could you be like, you know what? That was an awesome season. I know we didn't win the Super Bowl, but that was great. So, like that's who we are. We're the Buccaneers. I can't wait for next year. Let's go. Like, that's honestly what I'm really, really curious about. And I've asked that question kind of recently. And so I'm just, it's just fascinating to me that the Bucs and Baker especially can be in this situation. And I think it really is a testament to the resilience of this team, the culture of this team. Baker Mayfield himself, definitely, and the fact that they're even in this spot to make the playoffs. Because again, I remember very vividly like talking directly to the fans when all the injuries happened, and I was like, the season's over. This is a bummer. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, I'm genuinely sorry. Like, it's such a frustrating experience as a fan. It makes you want to not watch sports when you can be so excited and everything just gets derailed because of injuries or whatever it may be, and you're just like, why do I even put myself in this mess? So to see them where they're at right now is pretty awesome. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Baker Mayfield being under duress, according to Chris Broussard? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.